All right, we're telling you stocks are, but take a look at what's been happening with Bitcoin. Now about $235 a coin to just under $25,000 a coin. It had soared over $26,000 a coin. I'm probably off on the exact number here. Suffice to say, it was closing in on $27,000 a coin. Brock Pierce is with us right now, the Bitcoin Foundation chairman. What he makes of all of this. Brock, despite all the efforts of so many in Washington to kill off crypto-related investments, make it harder to buy or even sell the stuff or find a market that can trade the stuff, Bitcoin itself and some of these other investments more than holding their own. Why is that?
Well, I mean, this is one of those examples where the promise of Bitcoin, in terms of its correlation to traditional financial markets, has finally separated. And where this banking crisis that we've seen first with Silvergate, that hasn't been in much of the media lately, but what we saw with Silicon Valley Bank, then Signature, now Credit Suisse, has definitely created a bull market for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin being a big winner. We've seen a 20, 25, 30% lift in the price in the midst of this crisis, which is, I think, what we've always thought would happen in events like this.
So do you need more bank bedlam to keep this going, or does it have a life of its own?
I mean, I think it has a life of its own. This just happens to be what's impacting the market here in the short term. And clearly, for the well-being of everyone, we don't want this banking crisis to worsen. That's not a good thing. But yes, it has had a positive impact on the crypto markets.
You know, I've talked to people like Kevin O'Leary who are convinced that, well, not a crisis, to put it bluntly, there is going to be an adjustment going on. And we might see a lot of small and regional banks go. I don't think he was saying because they're in trouble, but that they might be passé in this day and age, and people gravitating to online institutions and the like, and the bigger banks that are well funded and obviously a lot less leverage than they were. What do you make of that, and how something like that would affect crypto investing?
Well, I agree with that statement in terms of being passé. Young people don't go into bank branches anymore. Human behavior is changing. And so as the world continues to turn and the older get older or pass away, the way that we bank is changing. It's definitely online, it's mobile, and retail sort of branches are not going to differentiate. The big will likely get bigger, and the nimble, innovative online or mobile banking businesses will likely be taking away market share from those small regional banks that just don't have digital in their DNA.
A lot of people still like this whole technology, a rogue investment, whatever you want to call it, Brock, but they're having a devil of a time finding a place and a safe place to trade it. Isn't that the dilemma?
Well, I mean, that's definitely a big part of why the crypto prices have been down. I mean, right. With what we saw with FTX, what we saw with Terra Luna and that UST, as well as what we've seen with these DeFi applications like Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager. As an expert in the industry, I struggle with, what platforms should we use? The regulatory conversations are clearly happening in D.C. and at a regional level. I'm here in the Ukraine right now, and I was just talking with the local regulators here in Kiev, and clearly they're really focused on digital and innovative solutions due to the unfortunate or terrible circumstances that they're dealing with here.
Yeah, to put it mildly. Brock Pierce, Bitcoin Foundation chairman, thank you very, very much.